and he was sitting in front of Tiger, and he was looking at me like, "Hey, what's up, Pops?"
Like he had no idea what had happened.
Yeah, and he was covered in blood, and I freaked out. I really did. I was a policeman 25 years. I drove ambulance for 20 years, and something like this, you don't. There's no way to explain it.
Even as a police officer and an EMT and all that you saw, it's different when it's your own child.
yes,
And I
ma'am.
know you panicked. I know
Yes.
you instantly called 911.
I
I
tried.
want to make sure everybody knows that because of your condition, you never felt it. You had no idea what was going on, which is why the dog was able to do that. Before we give the dog such a bad rap too, I want everybody to know that your doctor believes your dog ended up saving your life,
Yes.
even though this gets a little confusing,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
can you explain that?
Yep, we found out from the vet that the dog did actually save his life. He kept licking, and the saliva in the dog has a natural coagulant,
You look
which,
much
which
better on
takes
camera than I do.
medicine
Shit.
for blood thinners. And
Look like
the dog
shit.
kept licking it, and he actually used that coagulant and actually stopped him from bleeding steady.
Because, I mean, let's face it, if you don't have any toes on the end of your feet, you could so easily bleed out. When you're on a blood thinner, you just scrape yourself and you bleed profusely.
Yes.
So it sounds like the dog almost panicked and started lapping and lapping harder
Yes.
and stopped
Yes.
it. The dog was deemed safe to stay in your home, right?
Yes. Animal control would not take the dog. They were there with half of Harris County Sheriff's Department, and they said they do not take animals from owners. If the animal had come in the house and done that, they would take the dog. But she said you can keep the dog, but you have to bring it to animal control, and he has to be evaluated by animal control. So I did. The following Tuesday, I went to animal control, and they evaluated Nolan. He's named after Nolan Ryan.
Oh my goodness.
And,
A little bit Astros.
Yeah, we can tell that you might possibly be an Astros fan, but the thing is that you want, even though this happened to you, that dog means everything to you, and you wanted to spare its life. So let's explain more of why something like that would happen. They felt like you had an infection in your feet that you didn't know about, and the dog was interested in that.
Yes, ma'am. That's what the vet had told my dad was that dogs can sniff out yeast infections. That's why you'll see them licking each other's ears or paws. And I may have had an undiagnosed yeast infection. And he started licking, and that led to chewing, and that led to
Yeah,
all 5 toes gone.
and that could happen to any of us if we didn't have feeling. Because the thing is usually if a dog nipped at your toes, you would push it away, right? But you were asleep and didn't know. So that's where this came in. But I want to go back to what a severe situation is. So Tiger, when I first talked to you about this, you were more worried about your dad than yourself. You were afraid he might have a heart attack or stroke because he was so distraught. What a sight that you both were dealing with, for him to see and then for you to have to worry about both, right?
Yeah, and for me, I wasn't so much worried about me because I knew I'm going to be okay. You know, that God is in control whatever happens. But I was really worried about him. But again, that's hard to see your dad going through that because of something you're suffering. And so it was kind of an awkward, weird kind of thing because he was like, I really thought he was going to have, he could hardly talk, and it was a mess. And so
Never saw anything
Yeah.
that much.
But the thing is that you all figured out a way just to make sure it never happened again. So your deal is the dog means everything to you. He brings you peace. He brings your joy to your days. And so you figured out what did you change to make sure that nothing like that could ever happen again?
We have a cage, and we put
Like just a crate that you
just
put
a
him in at
crate,
night.
yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
And we put him in there every night, and the door's locked, and he's perfectly fine. He's happy. He lays there and sleeps all night.
Yeah, so he's still beside you. It's just
Yes.
you know that everything's fine
Yes.
until you wake up and can keep an eye on him.
Yes.
It sounds like it was a really good plan.
up until bedtime, he still lays on my chair with me in my lap.
I've seen so many pictures before all of this on social with you guys. Like,
Yeah, he
I mean,
really
he's your
does.
pal.
He really does bring me comfort, like when my pain level starts to rise. It's like he knows, and he'll come and lay on my lap, or he'll lay, you know, where his head is closer to me, and I'm, you know, petting him, and he's licking me, you know. So he really is. I was worried they were going to take him.
He'll jump up in Tiger's lap and lay there, and he only weighs 97 pounds.
Only.
So
He's a massive
he's
dog.
a mostly large lap dog.
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to talk about though the fact that that was a very serious problem. You had to have emergency surgery,
Yeah.
and I know that had to be pretty tough. Well, more so for you to go through worrying about it, but thank goodness you couldn't feel any of
All
it.
right.
And I'm thankful he woke up when he did, because no telling what would have happened, you know, if it had been an hour later or something. So the vascular surgeon did say that Nolan, though he hurt me by chewing the toes, he also saved my life by licking all the blood.
And the photos are probably too gruesome to share, but I can tell everybody it basically looked like almost like a shark took off part of your
Yes.
foot is the best way I can probably describe it, right? Like it's surreal. I'm
Yes,
so
ma'am.
sorry about all you've been through. I think it's so strong for you to be able to talk about it. I want to talk more about how you always are able to cheer everybody else up when you have your own rainy days. You have such a beautiful spirit. Can you talk more about where you find that inner peace and just you're so happy every single day?
Yeah, I think I'd go back to when I first became a Christian and first started getting involved in church. Our youth minister, Gary, would always tell us, you know, anchor your relationship with the Lord deep while you're young, because the deeper you anchor now, the stronger you'll be able to stand later. And I'm really glad that I bought into that, because it's from that my relationship with the Lord and my daily walk with Jesus, and how I know that He's in control of every step I take, every breath I take. You know, He's there for me, and as long as I keep my eyes on Him, you know, it's going to be okay. You know, there will be rainy days, but you know, we got to keep going. And you know, feeling sorry for myself or feeling down is not going to help anything. You know, I've found that making jokes and playing with, you know, pranks on nurses and stuff like that when I'm in the hospital or at a doctor's appointment, just have fun. You know, just, you know, some of it is very serious, and I understand that. But my way of dealing with it is, you know, through my faith, my family, my friends, and my sense of humor and laughter and bringing that joy and just knowing that Jesus is with everything that I do. And like I said, there are days when I do have some down days, and I'm like, I just kind
Well, of course.
of grumpy a little bit. But for the most part, I try to keep it, you know, keep it
You're able to
positive.
flip that page
Yes,
and
ma'am.
get back into that positive space. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say, as I've seen with your dad,
Yes,
a positive force for sure. And I know you've had a hard time. Back in 2018, lost your wife and a daughter. How have you been able to just be the strong force of your family without your wife, who I know you adored, and to still make sure that Tiger has everything that he needs as your adult child?
It's the knowing that I have to take care of him. I mean, not have to, that's probably the wrong word, because I love taking care of him. That feeling of knowing that I am needed, and I need to help him, because he basically can't really do anything. His surgeries have helped him with the tumors, but they've also turned things around a little bit. And on several surgeries, it's now drawn his hands up, and where he can't hold on to things. And I've seen him talking on his cell phone, and the cell phone will drop out of his hand. He didn't even know it, because he has no feelings. But taking care of him is very important. Except the laundry, I don't like the laundry.
Well, who does? I'm with you on that. I love that you are so close, though. I think it's so powerful to be able to see that relationship is huge. Can you even imagine life without your dad, or your
gosh.
life without Tiger?
No way.
I
No.
mean, family's everything, right?
He's my Nolan Ryan. He is
Oh, I
my
love
Nolan
that.
Ryan.
And then let's talk about his faith. So obviously it's very deep rooted in him, and I feel a lot of times that happens in childhood.
Yes.
Is that coming from you? Did you point him in that direction?
I have to confess,
That's okay. We can accept a confession here.
Yeah.
we did not raise them in church
Mhm.
as we should have. We tried, and we had some things happen in the church where they came to our house, and it was not a nice scene,
Mhm.
and so we withdrew. Previous to that, my grandfather, who I'm named after, was with the Methodist Church for 50 years.
Mhm.
And when he passed, they would not conduct a funeral for him because he worked for the railroad, and the railroad transported liquor. So
So there were little problems. But the thing is, I think here for you is your faith is so much more deep rooted than the
Oh,
church
yes.
itself,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And that's where you found the comfort and the faith. But you can have that anywhere.
now I draw that mostly from Tiger.
Mhm.
Tiger Hathaway. He has people calling him too, asking advice or trying, or they're feeling bad. He's actually saved a life that we know of for sure by his faith, and the faith with Tiger is so strong. I mean, you can feel it.
Mhm.
You can actually feel it.
No, I believe it.
Yeah.
From the second I met him, all those years ago, I felt it all through the years. Let's talk more about your condition. So, where do you progress from here? Do those tumors stop? Do they keep going? What happens with that?
They'll continue to grow throughout my life. And as I've gotten older, my condition has obviously gotten worse. But we just keep an eye on things. And I know what my normal pain is and what's not. If I start having something that's not normal, then we do an MRI and see if it needs to have surgery or not. You know, we're going Thursday to see about possibly putting a rod in my neck, because you can see how my neck is down, but it would hold my head up a little more.
And so you're considering that surgery?
We're considering that surgery. We don't know yet.
Wow.
Meeting with the surgeon on Thursday.
Not bad, but
Just talk about recovery, side effects, and all that,
Mhm.
and see.
Do you feel like that would help your quality of life?
They think it will, because once the spinal cord can stay straightened, it could relieve some of the pressure
Mhm.
from the tumors pushing on the spinal cord. So yeah, we're considering that.
Well, I will
And
certainly be
just-
praying for you for that, because I know
Yes,
that's a
ma'am.
really big decision.
It really is. It's a
Anytime you
big
do a
surgery.
major surgery like that, you really have to just figure out
Yeah.
pros and cons,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Well, it was so neat to be able to meet up with you with Encompass right after your accident, and once you had recovered well enough to leave the hospital, you went there for rehab to get
Yes, ma'am.
stronger. Let's talk more about what they were teaching you to do. It was fascinating how they were helping you, because the problem is before your accident with the dog, you use your feet a lot, right, to push
Yes,
and to
ma'am.
be able to move your body.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
had to learn to not use them at all for a while they healed. How was that? Just everything that they taught you, how much did they help?
It helped a lot, because I did a lot of upper body strength exercises. Since I can't use my feet as much, I will need to use my arms and hands a little better. But yeah, they worked with me a lot on that. And they have a thing called a Hoyer lift, which it kind of puts this canopy like under you, and it'll pick you up out of the bed and put you in the wheelchair. So they did that for a lot while I was there, so that helped me transfer into my chair easier. Our house isn't big enough to have a Hoyer lift at home, so I have to do my upper body strength to transfer.
It's a good excuse to have to work yourself out, right?
It is. It
And
is.
how did you feel about the progress you were seeing from him being really weak in the hospital to just making those giant steps? I saw a difference myself, and
So much better.
how pretty quickly.
Yes, ma'am. They worked him. They worked on him.
Yeah.
I think he even had some sweat one time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That's a serious
I could
workout.
have seen some sweat on his forehead,
Yeah.
but he could have been drinking some water in this sweat.
Yeah.
That's the excuse. That's what we'll use. One thing I know that you do a lot is rely on, especially Christian music and lyrics.
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
Really light you up and put this
Oh,
bright
yeah.
light in your eyes. I see it right
I
now.
wish I could sing. Oh man.
What are some of the favorite songs that really make a
Um,
difference for you? Because I know that really touches your life.
There's really three that stand out for me. One is called Even If. by Mercy Me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the chorus of it says, I know you're able, I know you can, save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my faith is you alone. And then it says, I know the sorrow, I know the hurt would all go away if you just say the word. But even if you don't, I'm with you, you know. And that just really, that's what I remind myself of on those days where, you know, my pain level is higher or not feeling great. I rely on that song a lot.
That's
And
when
then,
Jesus brings the rain.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Mercy Me song, Bring the Rain,
Brings the rain.
is, I mean, my life in a sentence is, you know, bring me joy, bring me peace, bring me a chance to be free, bring me anything that brings you glory. And I know there'll be days when this life brings me pain, but if that's what it takes to praise you, Jesus, bring the rain. And I actually was going to take Pops on May 9th, what Mercy Me was in the Woodlands, and I had planned on taking him, but you know, my dog decided to eat my toes off first, so
You
I
just
kind of had to
say
be in
that.
the hospital. You know, I kind of wasn't able to get out to go to the concert, even though I wanted to, but
I love how you still keep a sense of humor through it all and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
make
And that's
light
what
of
I-
it.
yeah, that's as strong as my faith is, that sense of humor about it. And I think the Lord gives that to me totally, because I'm not, you know, nothing special. I'm just a normal guy, but the Lord
You're
really.
not,
no,
you're
you're
beyond,
special.
you are so,
No.
you're such a positive force, Tiger.
Thank
You are
you.
not normal. So many more people are negative than you who appear to have everything, and you have everything, my friend.
Yes,
You are the
ma'am.
full package,
Thank you.
for sure, without a shadow of a
I'm
doubt.
just blessed that the Lord has allowed me to live this life. You know, a lot of people ask, would you like to have no tumors? And I thought about it. I was like, well, no, because of the tumors, that makes my faith stronger. You know, because of the tumors, I lean into Jesus more. You know, when the pain is up, I, you know, get up in Daddy's lap and lay my head on his chest and talk to him. You know, and just like a child would their parent. And so, my life verse is Acts 20:24, and it says, "I consider my life worth nothing, if only I may finish the race and complete the task the Lord has given me, the task of testifying to the goodness of God's grace." And that's kind of my life verse, like I said. And put that on my tombstone someday.
I love the power behind that message and that verse. It is so beautiful. Thomas, you raised a good boy, didn't you, buddy?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He got into church all on his own. We tried when they were younger, but we failed in that respect. But he got into it all on his own, and he went all the way. I mean, he ended up going to East Texas University, Baptist University, and got a degree, and became a minister. And he loves talking to the youth, and he has a following that many children that knew him when they were 5 years old, and now 20 and 30, they know Tiger. And most of his family doesn't know his real name. Most of his family doesn't know that he's Elton Wayne Coughlin.
You're not Elton, you're Tiger.
He was named after a friend of mine who's a Houston police officer, Elton Wayne
Oh
Sparks.
my goodness. How did Tiger come about?
Well, my
I'm
wife
glad
was
Gerald
raising
didn't
a
see that
little
one.
girl, and the little girl was with Tiger when I brought Tiger, or was with Marianne. I brought Tiger out, and she said, "What is his name, Marianne?" And Marianne said, "His name is Alton Wayne Kaufman." She said, "Me can't say Al Wayne. He'll be my Tiger."
So that's how it came about.
Yes, ma'am.
From then on,
Yes, ma'am.
changed forever.
And we asked him when he went to high school, "Do you want to be known as A.W. or Alton or Wayne?" No, I'm Tiger.
Tiger. Well, it has a good ring to it, doesn't it?
People will ask me, "Do you have any animals?" I say, "Yeah, I have 2 dogs and a tiger." And they say, "You have a tiger?" I say, "Yeah, he's 54 years old."
Oh, that is so fabulous. I love that. And obviously, just huge Astros fans, and we're not talking bandwagon either.
No,
I
no.
mean, you were there for the team no matter what.
He's got to get dressed in this every time they play.
I
And
love
sits in
honestly-
his chair and watches that game.
I can't remember the last time I left the house and I wasn't wearing Astros gear.
I can't either.
Because you don't do it. You're always in it.
Yeah.
Well, that's some good team
And it
spirit.
actually kind of helps me too, because there'll be days where I'm not feeling good or whatever, and the game comes on, and just I get so into the
Yeah,
game,
you forget about it.
and yeah, it makes you forget about the pain. And
He
I watch
wanted,
the game, and I'll scream and yell and hoot and holler. And
That's fabulous.
he wanted to be the next Nolan Ryan. He was a pitcher when he was in Little League,
Uh-huh.
and he was very, very good. And he just wanted to be the next Nolan Ryan. That
That's
was his dream.
incredible. Well, now you can just cheer on that team day and night and night and
yes,
day.
ma'am.
Well, as we wrap up here, for anybody who's going through a hard time, maybe they're just feeling down in the dumps, what is your best advice to be able to pull up and just make the best out of every situation, no matter how severe it is?
I think I would say just encourage them to, get involved in a church, get involved in a Sunday school class or small group, because that helps, because that gives you like a mini family, if you will. And I think that just truly trust on the Lord, keep your eyes on Jesus, and you can do great things. There's another song by Audio Adrenaline, and it simply says, if I keep my eyes on Jesus, I can walk on water. And so that would be my encouragement, was trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understandings, and in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And so I think my faith, my family, my friends are my source of strength.
Well, you are incredible, and it's beyond an honor to know you and your precious dad. I wish you the very best, continued healing on your feet, and again, so thankful that you didn't suffer pain through that, and I'm sorry mentally you both did. I know it was a tough time, but you're brave to talk about it, and you keep fighting the good fight.
Yes, ma'am.
And thanks for uplifting us.
Yes, ma'am.
A remarkable family.
Thank you.
All right, much love to you
We
both.
sure appreciate you very much.
I'm the
We
best
love
dad on
Fox.
the planet.
Well, we are happy you love Fox.
We love
you.
Fox. We do
All right.
every day.
Thank you
We
again,
wait for
guys.
you and your friends. We miss Jose.
Yeah, I know.
Very bad.
God bless him. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you all for being here on Lunch for the Soul. Have a beautiful day.